looking back on the materials shot by film about your family, so you are telling a story about not using digital technologies. So if we are 100 years later, so people at that time, uh, how do they make a film like about us?
Yes, 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 very interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
About
That's very interesting. Yes. Um, let me phrase it a little bit larger. Um, and again, that's another aspect of its media archaeology. You know, today we were talking about that media archaeology uh, is uh, is a condition or has a specific relation to the digital. Without digital, no media archaeology. To put it a little bit too directly, but you see, um, the, the analog material, you know, the eight. You have to imagine that the image of normal 8 is no bigger than your fingernail. It's an incredibly small image. Now, through digital technology, you know, you can blow it up and you can, you know, here you see it, but I have seen it 5 times as big in a huge, almost IMAX type theater, and it's still clear. So you know, without digital technology, I couldn't have made this film. There wouldn't have been any way of creating in an analog way to use this material in projection quality. So the digital is the very condition of the rescue of the analog. And the answer to that question, we have no idea what will be the technology in 50 years or even 20 years time, right? So, but it's also true, and this is something we've been talking about, because you see, what's happened in the last 20, 30 years is that analog film material has become suddenly very precious because it's perishable and because it's finite, it's limited. And so now filmmakers go into archives and people, you know, find everything on 16 millimeter or home movies interesting, not because of what it shows, but because it's still there as a material residue. And this will be the problem, that what will be the materiality of our lives in 50 years' time? How can we recover the materiality? Now, in one sense, I'm sure that even our mobile phones will look incredibly antiquated. The other day I saw a film that was falling down from the 90s, and Michael Douglas is holding a mobile phone, and it's that big, you know, it's one of those huge things, and the whole audience just burst out in laughter because it seemed such a comic moment to have the first mobile phone, which was like a brick. And so, but that's not exactly the response that you want. You know, you want as you said, the sort of haptic emotion that derives from obsolete technology, and not laughter for the absurdity of it. But this will be the problem of what will be the materiality that is now attached to our media practices, and will it be seen ridiculous, or will it be seen as emotionally affected and authentic? I think that's even more important, or that's at least as important as to think what is worth keeping. Now, of course, home movies in the 1930s, when my father made home movies, was a very rare occurrence. For one thing, it was very expensive, and only middle-class families could afford to make home movies. Nowadays, of course, when we're all shooting our movies on our iPhones and our mobile phones, the very notion of, you know, shooting this kind of material has changed radically. So there's a devaluation of home movies today but a revaluation of all the home movies that are made when it was still very difficult to make home movies. So it's not only about the content, what you show, it is the socio-economic conditions of the very possibility of making that material or not making it.
It relates to your idea of the obsolescence, actually.
Right.
And also, if you consider the 8mm film cameras are kind of vintage on eBay or Taobao,
Right.
or
Yes.
so
Right.
shift to media.
But there's also something else which is media archaeological, which is that this camera that my father had a wind-up mechanism, like a clockwork, right? So it was actually, for its time, a very avant-garde camera because it was still mobile. And one of the things that I really like is that my father took the camera into the lake and is filming at water level, So in that sense, he is already anticipating the mobility of an iPhone. He doesn't need electricity. He doesn't, he can take it wherever he likes. So in that sense, that piece of obsolete technology we recognize now as something very modern, and what we notice is exactly its mobility.
Yeah, it's very small. It's handheld.
Yes.
It's very portable.
Right.
Yeah.